Hello and welcome to a special Christmas edition of Default Assault, where we take on everything, even Kris Kringle himself. By default, I'm your host, Demosthenes, and with me as always is Mr. Kyle Nash. How's it going, Kyle?
Now I've got hilarity. Ho, ho, ho.
And welcoming back our popular returning guest, Mr. TJ. How's it going, TJ?
Hey, Tokyo, come on the show. Have a couple of laughs. What's happening?
Come out to Orlando. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
Oh, God. This is going to turn into pun hard? Is that...
Pun?
Okay. Let's get the elephant out of the room, all right? Well, let's get the elephant out of the room. Let's address the elephant in the room. Die Hard is a required viewing. Come on. It's Die Hard, yes. Do we really need to get into it? Die Hard is required viewing. Tell me I'm wrong. Exactly.
No.
But I would like to. We'll cover some of the highlights, what we like about the film, what we don't like about the film. But before we get to the big question of the evening, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Is it not? What makes a movie a Christmas movie to begin with? We've said it on the show before. Christmas movies are almost a genre unto themselves, more so than any other holiday film to begin with. Before we get into our topic, tell me some of the best things that you like about Die Hard. What makes this required viewing to you?
You know, some of the one-liners you get out of here are things that you hear again, and they're just actually, they still hold up 30 or so, whatever years later, right? Of course, everybody remembers Yippee-ki-yay, come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs. That's the one they all remember, make fists with your toes. I'm sure that's still something people do when they get off of flights. How often, though, people forget about Theo in that movie, Argyle in that movie. I mean, listen, both Theo and Argyle are douches, but they're entertaining in their own right, and they get the job done. And then how many times does Hans have something clever to say? How much of a douche Ellis is, but he's got something clever to say. That face right there. Thank you, TJ. So, and by the end of the movie, I will be able to even very poignantly explain how Hans Gruber is precisely the metaphor that proves, in fact, that this is not a Christmas movie when we get to that point. But I'll put it at the end of the day, your villain in this movie, in all actuality, may not be Walter Peck, but he is in this movie, and he's still even being an asshole too. So there's that.
What I like most about the film, honestly, was the dialogue, the back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it worked. I mean, just looking at Bruce Willis, he really... I don't know if Die Hard was written with him in mind, but it seems like it was. Like, I can't imagine anybody else playing the role. His dialogue, what he did with that character was phenomenal. The relationship between him and Professor Snape was just great. I realize now, so he didn't die in the fall. He fell, broke his neck, had to get really healed up.
Well, then after all that, it became the Archangel Gabriel as well.
There you go.
Went to outer space.
And by Grop Thor's hammer, avenged his enemies, except for John McClane.
Multi-talented.
When I look back, at the film and actually watching it last night, I couldn't turn away from it. I mean, and this is like at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. At this point, everyone else around me is
I was catching,
and I just did not want to stop because, I mean, it's an exciting movie, and shouts to Argyle. Like he was a disappointment. A lot of people like, this dude could have saved the day if he had been paying attention at the beginning, but he ends up doing his job and delivering a punch that would knock out the would-be computer terrorists of the crew. So
that would be Theo.
Theo, yeah, there you go. So no, I there's so much about it that I like.
It's funny that you should say that you can't imagine anybody else playing John McClane, because Die Hard was actually based on a book, which was a sequel to another book, which was made into a movie starring Frank Sinatra in the John McClane role called The Detective. And in fact, when they were making Die Hard, because of the contract, they had to offer the role to Sinatra
Wow.
first.
Wait, but I
Oh,
still
come
can
on.
say-
Really?
Yeah.
Do it his way. Did you mean to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
did.
just checking.
Y'all can't be the only one dropping corny shit. Like I gotta get some corny shit.
What makes Die Hard successful beyond what the dialogue is effectively witty. It's a lot of fun to watch. And I think a film like this truly is as good as its villain. And putting these two characters against each other was a lot of fun. Seeing them outsmart each other, seeing John McClane get owned a lot of times in this film. The biggest failure of the sequels is they took the term Die Hard literally and made it impossible to kill John McClane.
He was a regular guy.
He was a regular guy in this film. He has jets landing on him in the fourth film. And I'm not even going to talk about the fifth film. Good Day to Die Hard. Ha! Anyway.
He threw a car at a helicopter.
He was out of bullets. So, anyway.
John McClane or Steve Rogers? What the hell?
In this film, he gets put through the ringer. He runs across the glass shards and he's pulling those pieces out of his foot. You feel for this guy.
Yep.
You connect with this character and it just adds to the fun. At the end of the film, when he's having that final face-off and he comes out beaten, bashed, and bloody. This is an underdog. This film was far more grounded. He does some. He jumps off the top of the roof, but guess what? The film treats it like he thinks it's a miracle he survived that.
Multiple times in the movie too. Yeah, that's what the sequels start to miss. It's an expectation that he's going to live on, rather than like, oh my god, I actually managed to find a way to rappel down a goddamn building with a fire hose and use a damn pistol in my belt to shoot my way into the damn building. Like, this movie would have needed to have been at least 10 to 20 minutes longer if I'm playing the part of John McClane, because at some point I'm stopping and going, I am the baddest mother I know.
New school Die Hard would have just easily had him jump off the building, boom, goes into, through the window, and that's it. We see the fire hose, the mechanism that the fire hose is raveled up into almost pull him back out.
Yep. And
he realizes how close he was to dying, and it wouldn't have been the terrorists. It was just his choice to get off the. He's got his choices almost killing him. He's got the terrorists almost killing him, and then he's got Johnny Law, who he's called and brought. Everybody is. It's all eyes on him, and he's just trying to save his old lady. Man.
Not even not just Dwayne T. Johnson, but rather or Robinson rather, but Agent Johnson and Agent Johnson in the helicopter.
His reactions to his own survival is half the fun.
Yep.
It really is. I think the most unbelievable thing that happens in the film is his wife beater going from white to black.
Yeah.
Crawling through the ducts. He comes out, barely any smudges on him, but his t-shirt is completely black. Come on. Is it a Christmas movie? Bruce Willis himself came out last year and controversially said it wasn't. While the screenwriter adamantly disagreed. In fact, actually, he released a chart. The screenwriter D'Souza released a chart where he said that Die Hard was more of a Christmas film than White Christmas. Wow. Citing that, Die Hard takes place entirely on Christmas. White Christmas really is only about Christmas in one part towards the end of the film. I'm like, oh, come on. What do you guys think? Let's just answer the question before we delve into it. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Yay or nay? No gray bullshit. Yay or nay? TJ.
Yes. Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and I will tell you why shortly.
All right. Kyle.
See, the thing you don't see right now, unless you're looking in the camera, right, is me staring this man down. Now, keep in mind, I'm seeing him in person over this week for the first time in 6 years. And he's trying to bring that weak shiznit in my studio right now, trying to tell me Die Hard's a Christmas. The only way you could be more wrong is if you don't call Major League required viewing.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Word.
okay. I was on your side, bro. TJ, you got an opening? Anyway, I don't think it's a Christmas movie. No, I don't think it's a Christmas movie, and I'll explain why in a moment as well. TJ, why do you think it's a Christmas movie?
I mean, because of the film. I mean, first off, we have to look at, the soundtrack. Even when we're having these deep moments of intrigue and terror, listen to the music that's actually playing. I mean, there's a time where I'm hearing joyful,
the Ode to Joy.
Yeah, so I'm hearing these Christmas songs being played in these very tense moments. But what defines a Christmas film? Because I think we all would agree that Home Alone is a Christmas movie, regardless of how you feel about Home Alone, how you feel about Macaulay Culkin, who sold their soul to make that movie great. How you feel about that film? That is a Christmas movie. Well, what do you have? You have Kevin trying to protect his house with toys and micro scenes or whatever. So what do we have in Die Hard? We have the overwhelming sense of family. John McClane has been separated for the last 6 months from his wife and his children. He just wants to get his family back. Just like Kevin just wants to get his family that he wished away back. We have the Christmas music all through it. We have a party, bing, bang, boom. But Christmas is repeated through the entire film. Why are they at Nakatomi Tower? They're not there for work, bitch. It's a Christmas party. Okay? So you have your Christmas party, you have your season. You don't necessarily have snow because it never rains in Southern California, so you're never going to get some snow there. But what you will get is Christmas, and that's what this movie is about. I would have said, and I've actually said before, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie, but now that I'm sitting back and thinking about what makes a Christmas film, so I said, okay, let me pick a Christmas movie. Home Alone is a Christmas movie. It's overwhelmingly a Christmas movie where there is a battle sequence. Now, granted, there aren't people dying in Home Alone, I'm assuming, but
they should have.
Right. But nonetheless, Home Alone is a Christmas movie. Die Hard is a Christmas movie with killing. I'm not going to make it a gray area or whatever. It is a Christmas film because at the end of the day, regardless of what the terrorists were going after, money or whatever, the overwhelming theme is family. That is it. And that's what a Christmas movie is about. John McClane didn't give, honestly, two shits about it. He was doing his job with regards to the other 29 people in the room. He was looking out for number one, his wife, whom he was trying to save that marriage. And we saw them kissing at the end. So, we're to assume that something happened that night, but the family was rekindled at the end. So that Christmas movie was successful. It's a Wonderful Life, Home Alone, Nightmare Before Christmas, The Grinch That Stole Christmas. There's a arc with your character, right? And then there is a happy ending. And guess what you got on Die Hard? A happy ending.
I've already found the flaw in your analogy, and you did in the middle of your whole talk, right there, all the way around, my friend.
Right.
Hans Gruber is the analogy for how this movie is not a Christmas movie. What did they call Hans Gruber and his team throughout the whole movie?
Yeah.
Terrorist. You did the same thing too. He's not a terrorist. He is simply a burglar, in his own words, a really good one. This movie is not a Christmas movie. It's just a really good movie. Now listen, it's adorable that you want to splatter Christmas all over it. You want to paint it with Christmas brush and all this stuff. But let's be clear. The movie was about family. No, it was about surviving. None of that happened. And which, by the way, John McClane did not get laid that night because that dude needed a whole lot of showering to get some of that blood off of his ass before anyone was going to touch him. That's a fact.
Somebody need to sew up his feet.
There's that.
You going to go semantics on words. So since he was not a terrorist, he was just a robber, then he's no different than the Wet Bandits. This is still a Christmas movie.
That's not okay. I'm still not done. That's adorable. And the Wet Bandits were there to ruin a Christmas and to get involved there. And Kevin was taught the lesson on Christmas about how he needs his family there, whether he wants them or not. That's not even close to what happened with John McClane. John McClane and Holly Gennaro, right? That whole thing. That wasn't even solved yet. And by the way, as you'll notice as the movies continue on, it ain't solved after 3. Now, I never saw 4 and 5. For my money, those 2 movies are pair of cup holders.
Spoiler alert, she's not in them.
Because she said, F it and get out. I mean, John, stop being a cop. This is ridiculous. I don't want to be married to Steven Rogers, okay? But what I meant is you have a lot of the elements, but there's nothing that tells me about the spirit of giving. There's no Robin Hood element here.
This man is doing the exact thing that the season was about. The whole season is about the birth of baby Jesus. And what did baby Jesus do? He died for our sins. John McClane is sacrificing himself. He had an out.
You just told me he was looking out for number 1. He can't be doing both.
Hold up, but that's just it, though. He was still doing his job and trying to save those 30 people. Regardless of whether he was only looking out for his wife, he did his job and looked out for 30 people, regardless of whether you're saving 1 person or 1 million. If you're putting your life on the line, that is giving, bro. What you're doing is you're taking a macho look at what's right in front of you. You just don't want to see it like a lot of other people. This man is sacrificing his own well-being for his soon-to-be ex-wife, because 6 months removed, the kids ain't seen him in a while. The likelihood of them getting back together is slim, but he's fighting for family, sacrificing himself for family. Look, if Holly Gennaro died, he'd get those kids back, bro.
Maybe he would, and that's a fact. But hey, let's put it this way. We're there in the first place because of John McClane, trying to be completely unable to hang out with the fact that she took care of business and was a business person. You want to talk about me looking at things through macho lenses? John McClane couldn't handle the fact his wife was more successful than he was. Hashtag facts.
Has nothing to do with it being a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it does. Because I have no reason to believe he's actually there to save the family or make the family happen or any of that. He's there to recover from his own screw up. This isn't about bringing family together. This isn't about giving. Although, to your credit, giving.
My kids in 6 months. He literally said that.
And that's his own damn fault.
But that doesn't take away from it being a Christmas movie.
But see, you can't turn around and tangent me and then tell me I'm tangenting. Hold on now.
A film incidentally taking place during Christmas and having decorations or references or even a Christmas song or 2 in there does not make it a Christmas movie. Because if that was the case, how many other films can we speak of that share these elements are not truly considered Christmas movies? I go through the list of Batman Returns. Is Batman Returns a Christmas movie? Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon. There are a lot of Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I would even argue is possibly more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is, because at least you got that sexy Michelle Monaghan in that Mrs. Claus outfit. Come on. I want to take a step back and say, okay, if I were to remove all those references about Christmas and all those songs out of the picture, does it retain its soul? Does it retain its theme? Can this movie survive without those elements? Lethal Weapon can. Batman Returns. Honestly, I think Tim Burton just has his heart on for Christmas. It makes it look cool. Eyes Wide Shut takes place during Christmas. Every single scene has a Christmas tree in it.
We don't know what they use the Christmas tree for. That's a different episode.
Home Alone, honestly, Christmas actually plays a much bigger part in that movie. If you take it out, it doesn't suddenly become Home Alone 3. Him going to Santa Claus to ask for help, etc. There's a lot more of the holiday at play in that film. Die Hard, not so much. Not so much.
If you take the Christmas out of this movie, you have to you're redoing the movie. But we can do the exact same thing for Home Alone. Let's say it's his birthday. Spring break, which my birthday is on spring break.
So his family left on a vacation on his birthday and forgot him?
Forgot him. Look.
Die Hard could take place if it's an office party, an end of quarter office party. Doesn't Christmas barely? When you look at that office party, there's barely any Christmas in it.
Christmas is why. The fact that it was Christmas, you're going to say that Hans didn't take into consideration the fact that it was a Christmas party and why in his planning? I mean, this dude has thought of everything. This plan isn't popping off any other time. It's happening at Christmas on purpose.
But by that very same rationale, Entrapment is then a New Year's Eve movie. Am I right?
Hey, look, if this is where we want to go,
No, this is where y'all are taking it. So
because
this is
at no point in time has anyone besides me even defined what a Christmas movie is. So I'm trying to defend why I say this movie is a Christmas movie on my definition.
okay.
I can't combat you or Demos because you have not defined a Christmas movie yet.
Where's your
Well, I
heart?
just did. Well,
Did you do that
Ka-
for?
Where's my heartwarming moment?
And
he saved his wife. And then he and Al have this hug, this embrace at the end of the film because they've been through it together. Al could have very well lost his job trying to stay and stick around because old buddy said, look, at any time you want to leave, peace, bitch.
Well, Dwayne was busy getting BF'd on national TV. No, I saw it.
So I'm saying, the heartwarming moment was there whenever we see Holly Gennaro and John finally get together when, look, he's still alive. That's the only son of a bitch that can make somebody that mad. Like
that sounds more like Thanksgiving, but I'm splitting.
Right, come on. Pinocchio has heartwarming moments. It doesn't make it a freaking Christmas movie.
Okay, so again, like I said, the parameters needed to be defined, and I asked, let's define a Christmas movie. Because for me to be able to take a stance, I need to know that the playing field is even, and I don't know what your parameters are to be able to judge what I'm saying. All I'm saying is based on what I've defined, because I did that. I'm saying that it's
I can't get to doing it.
All right, Kyle, I think I defined it to a degree that the holiday has to play a bigger role in the actual story. That if you can remove the holiday from the story and it essentially stays the same, it's not really a Christmas movie. You can't take Christmas out of the Santa Claus and it being the same story. You can't take it out of It's a Wonderful Life. You can't take it out. As much as I hate to say it, you can't take it out of Elf, or the Grinch. But you can take it out of Die Hard, and it's gonna be the same film.
Grinch puts on the suit. The Grinch tries to play Santa. You can't take Christmas out of that. I get that, but Home Alone is a Christmas movie, and you can take Christmas out of that. That movie can exist without it happening at Christmas time.
It doesn't land the same way, though. I mean, family's a bigger element family's a big element in general, so you could sell that. I'm hearing that. That makes sense. But the impact is better and greater and to a far bigger extent because family is part of Christmas. Like when you don't have a family for Christmas, people try to get you to be adopted into a family if they like you for that period of time. For example, if you are in such a situation at spring break, no one gives a damn. They're not trying to adopt you. Hey, come be with us for spring break. Merry spring break, Kevin.
So during spring break, who does Kevin go to ask for his family back? Because all he wants for spring break is his family.
Well, but see, again, I was saying take the Christmas out of it. I mean, Die Hard is such a good movie that you can actually take Christmas out, and it is still a banging movie.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with that, but Kyle, we keep rushing him off. How do you define a Christmas movie, Kyle?
Okay, so I mean, for me, you got to have the heartwarming moment, which I mean, a lot of movies have heartwarming moments. Yes, Demos, but it's not the same, obviously.
Oh, I agree.
A heartwarming moment in there. If you think, no, you said actually you gave a better moment than Holly and McClane. You said McClane and Al Powell. That's not bad. That's better than I thought you were going to come up with, and I'll give you credit for that. It's got to have an element of giving. I don't know that we saw that. You're having to go, hey, a cop is doing his job. Okay, so then by that definition, is Beverly Hills Cop a Christmas movie? No, that's silly.
McClane does give a lot of bullets.
I don't think that it does, but I'm just saying, like, I mean,
that would be. I mean, if it does,
and no, right. The chronology has to be right. I'm not trying to be ridiculous. I'm just, it's the first element that I came in there. I like your point about Nakatomi Plaza being a more prime target in the holiday session because regardless of whether they're more active police or not, the point is a few more doors are open than they should be. I like that part of the argument, but I feel like that can be just as easily explained because, for example, it's a Japanese company. They could come up with some other holiday that could fit just as well. But to define a Christmas movie, you need family, giving, some sort of, lacking a better word, a fallout, and you need a heartwarming moment. A lot of elements of it take place, but I don't think it comes together in a fact that really delivers you that final Christmas moment. That the movie doesn't end with you going, "Oh, Merry Christmas, everyone." It ends with, "Glad we survived that crap. Now can we go get the shopping done?" So, and listen, I'll give you a lot of credit for getting the conversation to be more eloquently stated than some of the other goobers that have made it out there. Let's be clear. Perhaps my problem in a lot of cases are the people that then made the argument and made it bad, but I'm not there. You're giving me a lot of stuff that's damn close, but it's not selling me as a Christmas environment.
I have a question for TJ along those lines, Kyle. Do you think that Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie by these
You gotta get me to watch Lethal Weapon again. Like, I haven't seen Lethal Weapon in almost 20 years.
Oh, okay. Because it has just as much to do with Christmas as Die Hard does. But I think that the reason that the argument, honestly, I think the reason the argument is made for Die Hard is it's because it's so atypical of the standard Christmas movie out there. All right, let's just be honest. All the Christmas movies are usually geared towards children, geared towards the youngins, etc. All about the spirit of Christmas, heartwarming, etc., etc., etc. Although Die Hard has a few touching moments, but not to the same level, more or less, as a sit down for all family Christmas. This is really just. The people wanted the man's equivalent to a Christmas film, the antithesis of the sugary stuff out there.
I don't know. I think you're giving me too much credit. I think this is a bunch of internet hipsters who wanted to come up with a take that was hot and it grew into a thing.
I'm sure that's part of it too.
See, that's again thinking that there's going to be some universally acceptable belief for a film. We've talked about it. Everybody is going to look at things based on their own personal experiences. And to sit back and look at Kyle in the face right now and tell him he's wrong for his take. How can I tell Kyle that he's wrong for feeling that what he feels based on his experience and his life journey? I can't say that. What I will say is now looking at it, and when I tell you that the take that I just gave y'all, I literally just got when we started. Because I said,
because you had said,
"Oh snap, I'm rethinking my take."
I have props to that.
Yesterday,
he was ready to say no.
I was ready to say no, and I just came up with this not 5 minutes before we started.
And I threw daggers at you in the stare that you started coming out with. Yes, like, well, what did you just do?
You made the argument interesting. If we all just said no, it's not, it would have been a 5-minute long episode.
What can I say except
you're welcome?
I can think of a few things, but they'll get me banned from YouTube. Anyway.
I got it. Suck it? No. Anyway.
Die Hard is a great film regardless. And I think it's one of those films that I can watch at any time during the year. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Or, do you even like Die Hard? I think I know the answer to that. But regardless, let us know in the comments below.
You don't get the hell out of here, Eddie.
No, we need subscribers, buddy. Subscribe and then get the hell out of here.
Probably get the hell out. So, look, put your money in the collection plate and get the hell out.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it works. TJ, thanks as always for joining us. Where can we find you, buddy?
You can find me on Twitter at Tokeo J. That's TOKEOJ. Same thing on Snapchat. Shouts out to my dude Jeff Bryce running 2020. Look, dinner time every Tuesday, man. Demos, thanks for having me. We got some more great films coming. I can't wait to see what 2019 brings us, man. So, hey, holla at me, man.
Oh, I got ideas. I got some big ideas for 2019. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Boom, boom, boom. Of course, I'm Kyle Nash, the Student of the Game. You can find me on Twitter at the SOTG. Find me on Instagram as the same. Find me on Facebook as the Student of the Game. Check out my writings on the UCF Knights on sportsmediapass.com, a company of Blue HQ Media. And of course, check out my writings on the Miami Dolphins on the dolphinswire.com of USA Today. Dinner time. Ooh, that's a thing that's going to be back right on schedule any moment now with Jean-Luc and Siskin, of course, me and that man over there. One, Tokyo J. Holla. Oh, he's looking up there at Jerry Christ right now. Anyways, and then, of course, you will see me weekly here on Default Assault. Boom.
That's right. You can find me on hilaritybydefault.com. Fun stuff every week. On Facebook and Instagram, Hilarity by Default. On Twitter, at Default Hilarity. And of course, as the man said, check us out right here on Default Assault every Thursday, where life is hilarious by default.
Now get the detonators.